Change can be chaotic. You set a new direction, but suddenly your team is misaligned. Some resist, some are confused, and some just nod along without real commitment. I recently helped a CEO turn that exact situation around, and today I'll show you how you too can do the same. The challenge is he was struggling with his team alignment. So a few months ago, I got a call from a CEO, and let's call him Mark. Mark was leading a mid-sized company through a major shift in strategy. On paper, everything looked great. The vision was clear, the numbers checked out, and opportunity was there. But behind closed doors, his leadership team was pulling in different directions. Some were hesitant, others were overwhelmed, and a few just weren't on board at all. The deeper issue of this was resistance and misalignment. So Mark was totally frustrated. I don't get it, he said. I've explained the plan, I've had the meetings, but even it's like everyone's waiting for me to push them instead of stepping up. Does that sound familiar? Maybe you face this too, where logic says the change makes sense, but people's emotions tell a different story. The solution is 3 steps to realignment. Number 1, create a safe space for honest dialogue. So I told Mark, before you push harder, pull back and listen first. We set up a confidential roundtable, not just another meeting, but a real, open discussion where his leaders could express their concerns without fear of judgment. And once they felt heard, real conversations started happening. Turns out their resistance wasn't about the strategy, it was about uncertainty in their roles for a fear of losing control. Number 2, align the why before the how. You see, Mark had been explaining what needed to happen, but his team hadn't fully bought into why it mattered to them. So we reframed the message. Instead of just focusing on company goals, we connected the change to their personal growth, career impact, and long-term success. Suddenly, they weren't just followers and following orders. They were invested in the outcome, and that's pretty cool. Number 3, empower. Don't just inform. Lastly, I told Mark, stop giving them just a plan. Give them ownership. We identified key leaders who could champion the change from within, making them part of the solution instead of just passive recipients of the shift. The result? A team that wasn't just going along with the change, but actively driving it. And so it came to a breakthrough moment. A few weeks later, Mark called me again, but this time with a different tone in his voice. It's working, he said. People are engaged, they're stepping up, and I don't feel like I'm dragging the whole thing uphill anymore. You see, my friend, that's the power of alignment. So what are your takeaways? Apply this to your leadership. If you're leading through change, remember this. Number 1, create a safe space for real conversations. Number 2, align the why before the how. And number 3, your team, don't just inform them. Change isn't about pushing harder. It's about pulling people in. Do that, and you won't get the compliance, you'll get commitment. And that's what we want. It's your turn to go and apply it and reap the rewards. If this resonates with you and you'd like to talk about how to align your team through change, you know where to find me. I'm Francois Lupien, the CEO's secret weapon. And until next time, make it a great day.